Hey yo, what's up? Fuji, 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 Fuji. Those are Nikon lenses. Well, I'm not talking about these lenses, okay? Talking about the Fuji lenses. Fuji, Fuji. Everybody keeps asking me about this lens. I acquired one a couple months ago because I found it really cheap, even though the 35mm f2 is the better lens. But is it? Well, it is and it isn't. It mostly is, but let's compare and contrast. Obviously, my needs are not your needs. I can't speak for you and say, well, you need to get this lens because I said so. Well, that doesn't mean a damn thing. It's not helpful to anybody. So what are the issues? Obviously, this is a Fuji's 35mm, the first iteration, f1.4, and the 35mm f2. This one new is $600. This one new is $400. You can see the form factor difference here between the two, f2, f1.4. Advantages, disadvantages. You can find online, you type in 35mm f1.4 Fuji, type in lens chatter. This thing on Fuji's earliest design, they kind of made a foo bar. It doesn't bother me any to actually constantly expose. Like if I have this on my camera, the aperture blades will go. I mean, it'll be constantly adjusting. I mean, obviously dial down if I point it at the light. Aperture chatter. If that bugs you, a lot of people are like, I just got this lens. Is it broken? It's making this freaky noise. I mean, you find that all over the web. This lens has got some serious noisy aperture chatter. It's like some cold dude is chattering his teeth out in the freezing rain. This lens ain't got no aperture chatter. This is also an f1.4. This is an f2, not as fast. The f2 has far faster autofocus. Well, smaller lenses do usually have faster autofocus. At f2, and this at f2, the f2 35mm new Fuji for $400, $200 less, is a sharper lens. Boom. But obviously I can't dial it down to f1.4 like I can this little sucker. I got this really, really cheap. Cheap, 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 cheap. So the issues that this has, even though it has, it's a dream lens, the 35mm f1.4, but you have to consider for $200 more, I'm getting a lens that's got serious noise issues, aperture chatter. The aperture is always opening and shutting. You got the aperture chatter issue. You got the fact that it ain't so sharp at f2 as compared to this, but radically different, not really. Autofocus, slower, much slower. This is much faster autofocus. Unquestionably, undeniably, not my opinion. So if you take those three minuses on this older lens into consideration, it's like, well, I desperately want the f1.4. Okay, we'll get it, but you're going to have those three issues. $600 new versus $400 new. Fuji's selling the hell out of these, and it basically kind of looks like a Leica M-mount rangefinder lens, which basically everybody won. 35mm is always the dream lens of FX and DX. Every camera manufacturer kind of bases their crap on how awesome their 35mm is. And Fuji needed to redesign this sucker. Obviously this one doesn't have the aperture at f1.4, this one does at f2, but it's faster, it's sharper, and it doesn't go on the aperture blades. So take that into consideration, and those are the two lenses. They're both great. This one is greater because it's $200 less. But if you need or want f1.4 versus f2, then get the 35mm f1.2. The reason I got both is because I got this one really damn cheap. But I've tested all the Fuji lenses, and I actually just wanted a 35mm f1.4, so that's why. Man, I never would have bought this at $600 because this is a better lens, but I found this one cheap, so that's why I got it. Simple explanation, right? I think that's pretty simple explanation. I think that clears things up. Check the Flickr page for each one of these, and then you can take a look at test shots. And I'll have test shots of my own as soon as I grow 4 more arms and 20 more hours in the day. I'm so overextended, it's unbelievable. So many emails to answer, so many comments to answer. I've kind of overwhelmed myself, but that's my own fault. I'm not whining or complaining about it. It's just the nature of things. But I'll take ownership of any mistakes that I made, because we all make mistakes. Life is short. Who gives a damn? Just give accurate information. Don't be shilling and shucking and pimping stuff. Just try to give accurate, helpful information. I think that's kind of the most important thing that is really lacking. At least that's what I think. Make up your own mind. Okay? Thank you for watching. Bye. Why didn't you edit out the video at the end where you walk back to the camera and turn it off. I don't like that part. Edit that out.